Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to add a form to our app. At the moment, we are adding input. The input here is done using this input form here. So this is what we are going to replace with a form. This is an input field, but we're going to add a form to take over this row. We're not going to change the button, just this input field here. So if we open up the index.html file, we can see where that input is coming from. You can see we've got a form here, and inside the form we have an input. So the input is what we are going to replace. So the input has all the items here in green are known as attributes, and the ones in yellow are the values for the attribute. So in the form we will create, we're going to replace this here with key value pairs. So where we have this attribute as a key, we're going to replace that with a widget. So we're going to have a widget, and the widget will be used to replace things like the class, and then we'll have the form-control as the value. We're going to also replace the placeholder in our widget, and this text here will be the value for that key. So we're going to create a text widget inside our form to take over all these values. So we're going to create a forms.py file. I'm going to create it inside the to-do list here. So right click on the to-do list and click on new file, and we're going to give it a name. I'm going to call it forms and make it lowercase. So type in forms.py and press enter, and you can see here it's created a forms.py file. So the first thing we want to do here is import forms from Django. So from Django, I've imported the forms, and the next thing I want to do is create a new class, and I'm going to call the class to-do list form. The class is going to inherit forms from form. So here on line 4, created a class called to-do list form, and it inherits from form, from forms. You can see I've imported forms here, so it's inheriting the form here from these forms that I have imported here. The next thing I want to do is add a text input widget, and the widget will represent the previous form input and the attribute. So this is what I'm trying to replace here, this input here. So I'm going to create a text input widget to take care of some of these attributes and the values. So we're going to use the class, the placeholder, and we have some other bits and pieces on the input. So we have this here, this is another attribute, and this is another attribute. So we're going to use all that inside the widget. So you can see here I have got the field. This is just one field. So this field here basically mirrors basically what we have in our model. So it's just going to have one field, which is a text, and the value is going to be forms. So it's the forms here is going to take the data type of child field, and with the child field here you have to set a maximum length. So I've set the maximum length to 45, which means that it will allow text input up to 45 character length. Next, I'm going to add the text input widget. So created a widget here called text input, which we're attaching to the forms, and the widget is going to represent the attributes and the values from the previous input in the index.html. So for the widget, I'm going to pass in a dictionary, and inside the dictionary, I'm going to include the key value pairs of the attributes from the previous form inputs. So inside this dictionary here, I've got the attributes. So the class that will represent the key, and the form control will be the value. And then we've got the placeholder, and the value for this placeholder key is the text, which says enter to do blah blah blah. And then we have another key here, which is the area dash label, and the value is to do. And we have a final one here, which is area dash describe by, and the value is add dash button. So make sure you've got that saved. Click file and click save all. All right, so where this attribute is coming from is from here, which this is what I'm replacing, this line here on line 28. So all the, you can see the items in green there, like the class. I've passed it into the dictionary for the attributes for the widget, and then we've got the placeholder here, and that's the value. And we have this area dash label, and that's the value there. And then we've got area dash describe by, and that's the add dash button. So that's what I've included here in the attributes, and I passed it into a dictionary. So you can see the opening, the curly brace there, and the closing curly brace, which contains a dictionary with the key and the value pairs. All right, so that is it for this form. So we created the form, but you can see the form is not showing up here. So there should have been an extra input here. That's because we've not incorporated it into the view. So in the next video, we're going to incorporate the form into the view so that it shows up in the front end of the application. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.